It was a quiet April night in 1775. Boston was dark, hushed, most of its people fast asleep. But if you looked closely, high up in one church tower, a single lantern flickered against the immense darkness. That small light, so fragile, trembling in the wind, carried a message that would change the course of history forever. It was the signal that started Paul Revere's legendary midnight ride. You probably remember the famous line from history class, 1 if by land, 2 if by sea. It was a simple, ingenious code. If the British troops marched out of Boston by land, one lantern would be lit. If they crossed the Charles River by boat, 2 lanterns would be raised. It sounds so straightforward, doesn't it? But this plan was born out of immense fear, incredible courage, and unwavering faith in a future that didn't yet exist. Imagine this. Inside the Old North Church, 2 patriots, Robert Newman and John Pulling, quietly climbed the creaking wooden steps, their hearts pounding. They carried lanterns, their hands steady despite the risk. They knew that if they were caught, it could mean prison or far worse. But they also knew that freedom sometimes needs a signal, a quiet call to action. That night, they hung not 1, but 2 lanterns high in the church steeple, their twin flames cutting through the blackness, bright enough for Paul Revere to see them from across the river in Charlestown. And in that flicker of light, America's first organized act of resistance had begun. Think about that for a moment. A whole nation's destiny turning on 2 small flames, glowing defiantly in the dark. The frantic ride that followed, the urgent warnings shouted from town to town, the first shots fired at Lexington and Concord, all started from that single, silent moment. It was a moment of courage that wasn't shouted from the rooftops, but whispered through light. Today, the Old North Church still stands tall in Boston. You can visit it, and if you stand outside and look up at that historic tower, you can almost imagine seeing that same golden glow, soft yet unyielding. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes history doesn't begin with the roar of cannons or the march of armies. Sometimes it begins with a single, brave light that simply refuses to go out. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this piece of history, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this one. See you next time.